So you're thinking about making the move to Middleton, Idaho. In this video, I'm gonna share with you some things that make that a positive decision that you're really gonna love, but I'm also gonna share some things that might make it a negative decision for you and your family, and it might be a place that you want to avoid. What's up guys, I'm Chase Dolan, your Boise realtor, and in this video we're going to talk all about Middleton, Idaho. Middleton is going to be a very small suburb here in the Boise Metro area or the Treasure Valley. We're going to be located on the very northwestern edge of our valley. You're going to be bordered by Star on the east side. It's going to run into Caldwell kind of on the west and south side. And with a population of just around 10,000 people, Middleton is going to be one of the smallest towns that we have here in the Boise, Idaho area. More on that to come later. But there are some things that people really love about Middleton, and getting started with the number one pro, the thing that drives most people out to Middleton. Middleton is going to be home to some of the largest lots, some great acreage developments, and just some home experiences that you're not going to find all over our town. When you take a drive out to Middleton, you're going to notice that the town itself, the city in the center, that main street, is very, very small. Everything around it is still set up to be more of that rural farmland, green space setup and feel. So if you're somebody that likes that agricultural feel, you want to be out in the farmland, you want space, you don't want to deal with your neighbors or anything, Middleton's going to give you that vibe that you just don't find in a lot of the Treasure Valley anymore. And then when we're talking about the subdivisions and the homes that are available, both on the resale and on the new construction side, people in Middleton tend to put a big value on land and that elbow room that I mentioned. So really, regardless of your price range, if having a big lot is number 1 or 2 on your priority list, take a look at Middleton because, for example, building with some of our initial kind of starter level home builders, Hayden Homes, Hubble Homes, you're gonna find that the lots here are noticeably bigger. So if you need 1/4 of an acre or above and you're struggling to find that where you're currently looking, again, just take a look at Middleton. Now, part of the trade-off with those larger lots, that rural agricultural feel, still not having development after development after development, and there's still some farmland that you get to drive through. If you're gonna choose to live in Middleton, you have to be ready to drive a lot. Because Middleton is such a small town, you aren't gonna have a vast number of jobs for you in the town of Middleton itself. So a lot of people who live out there, they actually work in Caldwell, Nampa, Boise, Meridian. And to get to certain parts of Nampa, Meridian, and Boise, you're gonna be looking at a minimum of around a 30 to 40 minute drive, sometimes a little bit longer if you really hit traffic. And even when we're not thinking about work, the way that Middleton is set up with a really, really small downtown and how much geographical space the city takes up, if you're going out and getting one of those acreage opportunities, you're gonna be a little bit more separated from town. And there's a chance that you live in Middleton, but even to go to the grocery store, you're gonna be looking at a 20 to 25 minute drive to get yourself back into town. And for some, that separation and that distance is the biggest pro of them all. They are 20 to 25 minutes from all of the people. They get to really enjoy serene, quiet life. But just know, it's a drive that you're gonna have to make, and be ready for that. And staying on that same thread, our second con of the day, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the traffic that we see in Middleton. After talking with past clients, family, and friends who have lived in Middleton, this was one of the biggest cons that they've seen just continually get worse over the years. We're seeing traffic all around our valley get a little bit worse. But Middleton itself, there really are only 1 or 2 ways to get in and out of Middleton. So that means even for a town of just around 10,000 people, those 10,000 people are taking the exact same 2-lane road in and out all times of the day. This just leads to some congestion. It's gonna back everything up, getting to the grocery store, getting to the gas station, going out to dinner. You're just gonna experience more regular traffic. Again, we're talking small town traffic here. If the other cities around the valley are any sort of indicator of where this traffic will be going, it's probably gonna get even worse unless the city gets ahead of it and they start to expand roads and they take care of that stuff before population gets out there. But for now, I would anticipate, just expect to have some traffic. As far as getting around town, there are gonna be a lot of back roads that you can use from Middleton to get out to Star, to get to Eagle. Getting to the highway is actually pretty easy because you can go west and be right at that highway as I-84 starts to shoot up towards Oregon. So if you're catching my drift, if you're gonna choose to live in Middleton, be happy with the car that you have because you might be spending just a little bit more time in it than other people around the valley. Just wanted to jump in right here and give you a reminder that I am a licensed agent up here in the Boise, Idaho area. So if you have any questions at all about actually making the move up here to Middleton or the surrounding towns, all of my information is down below. I would absolutely love to chat, see if there's a way that I can help. And if you're liking this video, you're learning something, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you are the first to know everything you need to know about living here in the Boise, Idaho area. But let's get right back into it. Hopping back onto the positive side of all of these things, if you are somebody that's looking for that true small town Idaho type of living, you really can't do much better than Middleton. Again, with a population of just around 10,000 people, Middleton is going to be the smallest town in our valley. And with that, you're really just gonna feel that small town vibe much more than other places. Inside of town, you're gonna have your kind of go-to spots where it comes to grocery, comes to restaurants, you're gonna have your diner. The town itself only has 2 stoplights right now. And when talking to current residents, one of the ways that they really describe Middleton and why they love it so much is on Friday nights, there really isn't a ton to do in Middleton, but you're gonna find the entire town flocking to the high school football game. And that atmosphere of a town rallying around their high school football team, that just perfectly encapsulates small town Middleton and why some people just absolutely fall in love with the charm. But on the flip side of everything that I just said, this can be a huge con for people as well because there are not vast amenities and things to do inside of Middleton. You're not gonna have numerous restaurants to choose from. You're not gonna have stuff that you can try a new place every so often to really keep things fresh. If you wanna go out for breakfast, you really only have 1 or 2 options. For grocery, hopefully you're really happy with Ridley's because that's gonna be the local grocery store that you have here. But you're not gonna have 4 or 5 to compare with, find the best coupons, find the best deals, or find something that you're just not finding at your local grocery store. And like I said, one of the biggest activities to do on the weekends here is to go to the high school football game. So if that's something that doesn't interest you, you want stuff to go out and experience, you want a movie theater, you want restaurants, you want bars and nightlife, whatever you're really looking for, Middleton isn't really gonna have it. You're gonna have to traverse into some of these neighboring towns. Now, the good thing, if you're looking for all of these things, and it's our next pro that we're gonna talk about, is the growth of all of the surrounding cities and towns here in the valley to Middleton. That is just gonna give you all of those amenities a little bit closer without you having to deal with that growth inside of your town. So a couple of spots to really keep your eye on is Star, Idaho is absolutely exploding. Star's just gonna be around a 5 to 10 minute drive down State Street, depending on traffic, from Middleton. So you're gonna have access to all of the new restaurants, the new grocery stores, everything there. And then if you wanna go west from Middleton, you're gonna head over towards Caldwell, and there's a brand new exit that they're kind of redoing right off of I-84. There's gonna be all sorts of new retail, commercial, restaurants. It's gonna look dramatically different over the next few years, and that will give you, as a potential Middleton resident, some of those services and those amenities that you might have been craving, but you don't really need right in your backyard. Now you only have to travel 10 to 15 minutes for those, instead of currently to go out, find that chain restaurant, maybe go to a medical facility, whatever it is that you need. If it's not in Middleton, you're gonna be looking for that 30-minute drive. So take advantage of the way that our valley is absolutely exploding, because eventually, and getting into our next con, that growth is gonna come to Middleton. We are already seeing it with a ton of new construction communities. We're seeing people start to look at Middleton much more frequently. And again, following the indicators of everything else in our valley, Middleton is going to start to grow at a rapid pace over the next few years. And we have seen across town that a lot of our towns and cities have not planned for that growth well at all. So as of right now, I would say anticipate some of those growing pains in Middleton over the next 5 to 10 years, but also keep those fingers crossed, get with your government, and hopefully they are planning a little bit more so that they aren't gonna fall into the same traps that we're seeing all of our other small towns fall into. But to give credit where credit is due, and hopping back over to the pro side, in Middleton, you are gonna have some fantastic access to the outdoors, access to nature, and a lot of things to do to go out and have fun and just enjoy the outdoors. Inside of Middleton, you're gonna find that even in such a small town, they have got some great parks around town, open green spaces for athletic fields, and then being on that northern edge of our valley, they are in the nice little sandwich of on the south end of town. You are gonna find the Boise River. There's gonna be a small green belt. So you truly have things like fishing right in your backyard. And then on the northern edge of town, you're gonna find a ton of public BLM land that you can go out, you can go shooting, you can go razor riding, you can go dirt biking, look into exactly where you can go. But there are ample opportunities just outside of Middleton for, again, you to have that access to escape, but you're still only around 15 to 20 minutes from home. The next pro that we're gonna talk about is currently Middleton, again, even though it's a super small town, they actually have their own school district. So they're not looped into West Ada, for example, which comprises a ton of Eagle, portions of Star, Meridian. Middleton itself is run by Middleton. Now, this can come with a lot of the drawbacks of having such a small school district when we're talking about resources, different initiatives, whatever. But if you're somebody that wants to be extremely involved in your child's education, you want to have some of that control, that input, and that community buy-in, the public schools in Middleton are going to give you access to that you might not find in some of the bigger cities where you just have bigger schools and more schools to choose from. And to wrap up on that same thread, if you haven't heard it from the small town vibe, the way that if you go out to breakfast, you're only gonna have a couple of places to choose from, the schools and how involved you can get and how the community rallies behind them, they rally behind the football team, all of that. One of the cons that does happen here in Middleton and just small town life is everyone is going to know everyone. So if you are somebody that wants to go grocery shopping and you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to see your neighbor, someone your kids go to school with, you want to pop your headphones in and you just want to mind your own business, get in, get out, and not run into anybody that's going to recognize you, that's going to be really hard to do in a town like this where everybody's going to get to know each other, and that community-driven aspect is one of the big draws of it. So just know, if you want to be somebody that fades into the masses just a little bit more, maybe pick a town that's a little bit bigger so that you have that opportunity. All right, and those are some of my pros and cons for choosing to live in Middleton, Idaho. If you have any questions at all about any of these, all my information is down below. I would love to chat and figure out if there's a way that I can help. But until then, I hope that this helped you kind of clarify some of your priorities and your own pros and cons list. Watch one of these videos that's popping up, and I'll see you all on the next one.